Next up is the update and draw systems. So we'll start with update. Obviously have our attorney. This we have our, in the public side, we have our submits for the registration deregistration. This is for the user to fill in the update. And then we have our scene registration deregistration, which is on the private side. And then we have our commands and registration data here to keep track of the states, only create one command, and then make sure we have our delete reference for our fast delete. So in the CPP file, we set current state to deregistered, and then we create commands. So we're only creating them once, we're not creating them over and over again. Then obviously for every new we need to delete. And then update is user filled, and we have our scene registration and deregistration. Pretty standard stuff. This is using the command system that we built. So here we have all the commands that we made. It's a lot. So if we go to scene registration, for instance, it's pretty straightforward, where it's just storing the command, and then we have, the callback is called when we execute. So we talked about this earlier in scene registration. It calls back in the scene to actually register it. So in the scene, in the updatable manager, no singletons. We got past most of the singletons, I think. We still have a lot, but you know. So we have a list of updatable objects, and in our CPP, when we process elements, we just go through our list and call the update callbacks for the updatable game object. In register, this is again where the scene calls, so the callback to the scene, and then the scene calls register, which adds it to this list that will get updated. So, and then deregister erases it from the list. We have our reference for a quick delete. Drawable is next. Drawable's pretty similar. We have one of the biggest differences is to draw 3D and then draw 2D. Again, we have our submit in the public side and our scene registration, deregistration in the private side, as well as our registration data. And then when we process elements, it is similar to updatable, except we are processing all of the 3D before the 2D to make sure that our sprites appear properly. And then we make the user obviously use a draw 2D callback so that we know what all the 2D objects are. And then this is similar to what we had before. We add it to the list when the scene calls register, and then we deregister it when the scene calls deregister, and then we just have the reference for it. So yeah, I think that's it for the draw and update.